all of the real men are in prison because they decided to say, fuck the white man power structure, and I'm going to provide for my family the way I want to provide for my family. And you say, well, you shouldn't be selling drugs. Well, tell that to the CIA for flooding the streets with the drugs. Well, you shouldn't be selling dope. Yeah, you shouldn't be selling dope. But when we gonna arrest the FBI for not for pumping the dope? And when we gonna arrest the DEA and the ATF? And when we gonna put all the alphabet boys on trial? See, y'all can't. Well, you can't put yourself on trial. That's who run the world, right? So the only thing I know that can defeat such a foe and let the prisons out is the Great Grand Holy Mother. This is why we at the Church of the Great Grand Holy Mother, number one, we believe at the Church of the Great Grand Holy Mother that all drug dealing and all drugs should be decriminalized. Heroin, drugs that come from nature, meaning drugs that you took from nature and turned it into a drug. So, ready? Heroin is a drug that comes from nature, the poppy plant, and they took it and worked it into a drug. Cocaine is come from the coca leaf. It comes from nature, and they took it, reworked it, and turned it into a drug. Marijuana comes from the ground. Now, when it comes to man-made manufacturers that didn't come from the ground, mushrooms come from the ground, right? But when it comes to the man-made manufacturers that didn't come from the ground, guess what? All that's on them. But the things that they're bringing black people to jail for, they're bringing black people to jail for cocaine, which is a coca plant turned into a white substance. They're bringing black people to jail for heroin and the fentanyl and all that stuff. That's all opioids, the pills, the lean, and all that stuff. All that's opioid. That's from the opioid. That's from the opioid crisis. But guess what? There are these other guys who are making trillions and billions of dollars off of the same thing that black men are being brought to jail for, that other poor white men are being brought to jail for, and the majority of both, we're gonna say 80% of the jail is black men. And you're locking up my black man for selling the drugs that your people put on the streets. That's not a war on drugs. The war on drugs, really in disguise, is a war on black men.